friends, this is Renuka and you're watching my channel Bookoscope. A very happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Just a warning before I start, this video is for the romantic souls. If you're not a romantic soul, then this is definitely not for you. So today I shall be listing out 10 books that you need to read on Valentine's Day. Before that, let me just tell you a little about Valentine's Day as to why it is celebrated. So the story goes like this. There was this very cruel Roman emperor who wanted a very strong army. But what would happen then was that men would refuse to join his army as they had a very strong connection, very strong bond with their wives. So what this cruel emperor did was he stopped all the soldiers, he banned the soldiers from getting married. So that's where Saint Valentine's came into the picture. Saint Valentine's was a priest or a bishop of those times. So he started getting these soldiers married off secretly. So once the emperor got to know about this, he put him into prison and he chopped his head. That's how Saint Valentine's was executed on 14th February. And that is the reason 14th February is celebrated as Valentine's Day, because Saint Valentine's represented love. Before I begin with the list, let me just tell you that I have jotted down 10 romantic novels which are considered to be the best ones, and not all have been read by me. I haven't read all of them, but I definitely intend to read them. So without wasting any more time, let me just jump on to the list. So the first on the list is The Notebook by Nicholas Spark. Sometimes what happens is that you end up watching the movie before reading the book. So this is exactly the case. I have watched the movie, but somehow I haven't read the book, and this book is definitely going to be there on my TBR. I have to read this book. This is the story of Noah and Ali. Now Noah and Ali had met 14 years back and they had a short relationship which Noah is unable to put out of his mind. He's still haunted by the memories of the beautiful girl he had met 14 years back. They were separated because of their class differences. And when Ali comes back to his town after 14 years, what follows is a tempestuous relationship. But can their love survive? Because Ali is already engaged to Lo and she is torn between love and guilt. Now the next on my list is Pride and Prejudice. Now this is a beautiful classic read. I need not mention about it. If you are a book lover, you already know. Now this story revolves around the middle class Bennet family. The mother is obsessed with getting her 5 daughters married off to rich, eligible bachelors. Then arrives Mr. Darcy, who is reputed to be a very wealthy man, but obviously the protagonist Elizabeth Bennet finds him arrogant. This book is not a very light read. Its language is not very simple. It makes it difficult to read. But once you get used to the language, that is when you start enjoying the book. So what happened was that the first time when I read this book, I did not really enjoy it, but then again I read it for the second time. By then I had got used to the language, and so I ended up enjoying it. So you see, I've read this book twice. Next book on my list is Love Story by Eric Sager. This is a 1970 book and it was published on 14th February 1970 on a Valentine's Day. This book is funny, romantic and yet tragic. It is a story of Jenny and Ollie. Jenny and Ollie belong to completely different worlds. Ollie is extremely rich. Yet these differences don't stop them from falling in love with each other. But when Jenny is diagnosed with cancer, their world comes tumbling down. Now this is a tear-jerker. So be ready with some tissues. Next book on my list is Wuthering Heights. It is again a classic and it tells the love story of Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff. Now this is one story which will haunt you for days. It's a beautiful love story, so please go ahead and read this. Now the next book on the list is one of my personal favorites. I really love this book. It is none other than The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Now the protagonists, both Hazel as well as Augustus, are suffering from cancer, and their love for each other is portrayed in a completely different manner. It is something that you ought to read. This book is completely different. There's so many brilliant moments in the book which, some of the moments make you laugh, some of them make you cry, but overall you'll feel overwhelmed after reading this book. That is the kind of response that this book got out of me. This is one of John Green's best books. Now the next is Paris, a Love Story by Katie Martin. I haven't read this book so far, but then the reviews are really good. Now this book has Paris as the backdrop, so obviously this book has to be good. It is a memoir of Katie Martin and she narrates a tale of love and loss. So it is definitely on my list and it should be on your list too. The next on my list is Ileana and Park by Rainbow Rowell, and this book is the first young adult fiction by the author. This is a story of two young misfits who live in Nebraska. It is a story of a 16-year-old chubby girl called Ileana and a half Korean 16-year-old boy, Park. And what happens is that they meet for the first time on a school bus and get connected through comics and music. I am told that this one is a must read and it is a heart-tugging story, and if ever your heart has been broken, then this book is for you. The next on my list is I Too Had a Love Story by Ravinder Singh. And for those who haven't read this book yet, please go ahead and read this book. Ravinder Singh somewhere mentioned that this is a true story, his true love story, and this one is a real tear-jerker. So please, I don't know why all love stories make you cry. No, I don't want you spending your Valentine Day crying, but this is a different kind of emotion, books and tears. The next is A Good Indian Wife by Annie Cherry. Now this is a love story of Neil Sarath, an American Indian who gets married to an Indian girl, Leila, whom he takes back to America, obviously. Now, this book is said to be unique because it deals with arranged marriage and cultural differences. The next book I'm really excited about because the storyline is a bit different. Now this can be called unique because this is not the love story between two living people. It is a love story between one person who's already dead long back and another who's living. So this is the story of Nikunj, who's very much in love with his dead lover Saira. And Saira, what she does is, in her quest of reaching out to Nikunj, she takes on the guises of Mumtaz and Gulab. Doesn't it sound interesting? Story with a difference. So I have listed out 10 books, but that doesn't mean that you read all the 10 books right away. You can choose the one which has piqued your interest and go ahead, enjoy your Valentine's Day with a book. Obviously, if you're single, you will be doing it. Those who are busy enjoying their day with their Valentine, you can always go through my video later and pick up the book that interests you the most. So with this, I'm signing off. See you soon, very soon, with yet another book list or a book review. Bye-bye.